Greetings, denizens of the internet. I am the Overthinkerer. So, Thor Ragnarok. It was a great movie. On that, I think everyone can pretty much agree. It had spectacular action sequences, awesome special effects, hilarious jokes. It was, on the whole, just a wonderful film. No questions asked. But I was frustrated on two separate levels with Ragnarok. One, because it missed out some of the most fantastic elements of Norse mythology that would have made the movie 1,000 times cooler. The other was the excessive use of bathos. Fair warning, spoilers ahead. I will be talking about lots of different moments throughout the movie, including the final confrontation. If you haven't seen it yet and are waiting for the DVD release, turn off now. Seriously. Spoiler warning. Now, bathos is a phrase coined by Alexander Pope in 1727 to describe a moment in a poem where the overall tension is undercut from its initial drama with a sudden shift to triviality. Imagine a story was building a very serious tone, bad things are happening, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, someone cracks a joke. Okay, let's try and give this one an example. Imagine, if you will, a fight sequence. Two fighters locked in mortal combat, certain to kill the other. Honor, dignity, glory, all out the window in this no-holds-barred, winner-take-all slugfest. Only death can sate the tension between these two fighters. They dance around each other, swords clash as the music swells, they parry, they strike, they block, they thrust, rhythmically dancing until one of them misses a step. The moment happens, one of the fighters falters, and his opponent spots the mistake. He steps in and lands the killing strike. His opponent collapses to the floor. Breathing a sigh, panting heavily, the winner turns to leave and immediately trips over, landing flat on his face. The trumpet gives us a little wah wah. All of that tension, all of that build-up, all of that drama, spoiled for a joke. Thor Ragnarok does this in spades. Now, just to be very, very clear, I am not saying that bathos is a bad thing per se, simply that the mere inclusion of bathos will undercut any seriousness that you establish in the movie. This can work really well. We've seen it in films like Deadpool, we've seen it in films like Guardians of the Galaxy. It makes for some really fun comedic moments. But it can be ultimately unfulfilling. It's like a box of chocolates that has only 2 pieces left in it. Ultimately still pleasant, but generally unsatisfying, and you wish it had just delivered on your expectation. Here comes the problem with Ragnarok, finally. Ragnarok is rife with the concept of bathos. When Thor is dealing with Surtur and Mjolnir doesn't come to his outstretched hand immediately, leading to his witty repartee about getting his timing wrong and his dramatic delivery. When Valkyrie first sees Thor on Sakaar, and she's so drunk she topples off her ship and can't seem to get the guns working. Thor meeting the Grandmaster while screaming like a little girl. And the worst offender, Bruce, landing face first on the Bifrost. All of these moments could have been epic. All could have been legendary. They could have been talked about in the same way as we talk about the airport sequence from Civil War, or the "I'm Batman" declaration in Batman Begins, or any other great moment of dramatic build-up and payoff. Instead, they were undercut with a joke, which means that it lacks all gravitas. As established earlier, the one that really bothers me is the one with Bruce Banner. It is a wonderful opportunity to tie up both the Hulk and Banner's story arc together. In The Incredible Hulk, the Ed Norton one that some people must have liked, we see a very similar incident to the one in question here, where Bruce is pushed out of the helicopter in the hopes that the Hulk will wake up and save the day, only to have him crash through the asphalt as still a very squishy scientist. A few moments later, he emerges from the crater and proceeds to punch the living daylights out of the abomination, leading to what is still one of the most fun action sequences in any movie I've ever watched. This scene is the start of that character development. Bruce isn't certain of the Hulk at this point. He can't trust him. He can't control him. Every time the Hulks come out, it's caused problems. It's caused damage. It's this terrifying, ultra-powerful entity that Banner has next to no control over. And yet, in this moment, he is deciding to put his faith into the Jolly Green Giant to save the day. He knows he can't control him. He knows that. But in this instance, he's hoping that this time the Muscle Man will be of use. In the Avengers, or Avengers Assemble if you're from Europe, we see Bruce struggling with the nature of the Hulk. He even refuses to refer to him by name. He calls him the other guy. He talks about how much of a curse the Hulk is, how him just being around other people is dangerous, how he's trying his best to keep himself calm. And yet, despite us seeing a moment where the Hulk is let out by someone other than Banner, we see it go on a rampage through the helicarrier. But by the end of the movie, it would appear that there's been some sort of internal dialogue. Hulk and Banner have reached an agreement. In the fight in New York, Banner trusts the Hulk. He agrees to let him out. He agrees to transform. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. In that moment, we see this character development shift again. The Hulk and Banner have started to become more symbiotic, and this relationship is followed through in Age of Ultron, where Banner's not scared to call him the Hulk anymore. Banner isn't scared to turn into the Hulk anymore. He is aware that he is the Avengers equivalent of the nuclear solution. If they need the Hulk, he is happy to let the Hulk take over for a time. And this is where the scene at the Bifrost comes in, because the scene with the Bifrost comes immediately after one final crisis of faith for Banner. The Hulk has taken control for 2 years, and he has taken complete control. Banner has had a problem with transforming into the Hulk after this point, because he doesn't know if he'll get control back. He's lost faith in the Hulk. But when Fenrir is marching down the Bifrost, and the Hulk sees giant Thunder Puppy and goes, "This looks like a job for the Hulk," we get a mirroring of that initial scene in The Incredible Hulk. He swan dives gracefully out of the spaceship that they're in towards the Bifrost, ready to head off Fenrir. And instead of giving us that resolution, that coming to the completion of the arc, going from I have no control over this. This power is scary. It is a problem. It is a curse. Get it away from me. To, I can trust him. I can rely on him. We're partners. He needed the Hulk to reliably transform. And if we'd gotten that, it would have been a really good way to end his character arc. It's a really good way to tie up both of their character arcs. It's at this point where Banner has fully accepted the Hulk, and the Hulk has fully accepted Banner. They've hit that perfect level of symbiosis. But instead of that, we get the exact same joke from the first movie. Only in the first movie, it wasn't a joke. It was a sequence of tension. It was a, oh no, it didn't work. This time we knew he was going to turn into the Hulk. We knew it was coming. But instead of giving us a big, dramatic, in comes the big green guy to punch Fenrir Puppy in the face, we instead got thud. Herein lies the problem, was that joke funny? Of course it was. Everyone in the theatre laughed. I laughed. When I think of it now, I still find it amusing. It's hilarious. As are all the other jokes. But that's not the point. The point is that it missed the opportunity. There was a serious moment here. A moment of high tension that could have been paid off dramatically and seriously. And it wasn't. And it seems that Thor Ragnarok just couldn't let a moment get too serious. To wit, we watch 4 major characters die in the first 20 minutes of the movie, and we don't care about any of them. The Warriors 3 get picked off one by one, and then Odin dies. Well, other way around, but, you know. We don't care that Odin died. And that's a problem. Because we cared when Yondu died. Some of us cared when Quicksilver died. A few of us even cared when T'Chaka died. What this failed to do was have any impact. The death of Odin meant next to nothing in the course of the movie. Because it was something they couldn't make a joke out of. And it suffered for it. Those are my thoughts on Thor Ragnarok. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Am I just overthinking things? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.